Today we're going to learn about the distributive property. The distributive property states that A times in parentheses B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Now this is another method that you can use to calculate expressions. What do I mean by this? Well, let's take a simple example. 3 times 4 plus 5. There are two ways we can approach this problem. The first way is to add 4 and 5 together and then multiply by 3. So we're going to have 3 times 9, which is equal to 27. The second way includes the distributive property, where you multiply the first number by the first number in the parentheses, and then the first number times the second number in the parentheses. So this is step 1 and this is step 2. So you're going to have 3 times 4 plus 3 times 5. And this makes out to 12 plus 15, which is indeed 27 once again. There are several ways you can rewrite expressions using the distributive property. Let's take 8 times 50. This is equal to 400. How can you rewrite this using the distributive property? Well, an equivalent expression would be 8 times 55 minus 5, because 55 minus 5 we know is 50. So these two expressions are the same. Let's see how the distributive property works here. This is 8 times 55 plus 8 times negative 5. 8 times 55 is 440, and 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. So 440 minus 40, this is going to be equal to 400. So as you can see, these expressions are both the same. And this is only because these two expressions are the same. Now, most of the time, you don't need to use the distributive property. For example, in this example, we can just take 6 minus 3, which is 3, and we know to multiply it by 4 minus 2, which we can simplify to 2. And this is going to be equal to 6. Now, when variables come into play, that's when it becomes more complicated. 6x minus 3 times 4x minus 2. This one we can't solve without knowing what x is, but we can simplify it using the distributive property. In this case, we'd multiply first, second, first, second. That's how we'd multiply it out. Each term in the first parentheses has to be multiplied by each of the terms in the second parentheses. So we're going to have 6x times 4x plus 6x times negative 2 plus negative 3 times 4x plus negative 3 times negative 2. And this is going to be 24x squared minus 12x again, and finally plus 6, which simplifies to 24x squared minus 24x plus 6. And so this is our simplified expression using the distributive property.